Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna dear devotees, thank you very much for joining us today. We'd like to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can share some pastimes of a wonderful personality, Sita Devi. It's her appearance day tomorrow, together with Janava Devi and also Madhu Pandit. So it's always good to remember these personalities the day before, so that on the day we can focus our attention on their pastimes, on their qualities. So we're luckily able to do that today. So this is a verse, or a couple of verses from the Bhagavatam. We will be coming to this chapter shortly as part of our overview of the Bhagavad Gita. But we can read this. This is a wonderful couple of verses, describes Mother Sita. So, Naniben, would you like to read this from the Bhagavatam?
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. O King, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra were wonderful, like those of a baby elephant. In the assembly where Mother Sita was to choose her husband, in the midst of the heroes of this world, he broke the bow belonging to Lord Shiva. This bow was so heavy that it was carried by 300 men. But Lord Ramachandra bent and strung it and broke it in the middle, just as a baby elephant breaks a stick of sugarcane. Thus the Lord achieved the hand of Mother Sita, who was equally as endowed with transcendental qualities of form, beauty, behavior, age, and nature. Indeed, she was the goddess of fortune who constantly rests on the chest of the Lord. While returning from Sita's home after gaining her at the assembly of competitors, Lord Ramachandra met Parshuram. Although Parshuram was very proud, having rid the earth of the royal order 21 times, he was defeated by the Lord, who appeared to be a Kshatriya of the royal order. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. So we wanted to share, this is something which is really amazing. Since the deities are known as, these are Sita Ram Lakshman, Sri Mularam, the original deity of King Ikshwaku. Now we know King Ikshwaku from what we've been reading. He's the son of Vivaswan, who was the son of Vaivasvata Manu. So very old deity of King Ikshwaku, Sita Ram Lakshman, who was given to Maharaj Dashrath before Ram's birth. And then Maharaj Dashrath, Lakshman inherited these deities. He worshipped them during Ram's lifetime. Lakshman gave the deities to Hanuman, who in the forest gave them to Bhim when Hanuman and Bhim met before the Mahabharata battle. And then this was given to Narahari Tirtha. I'm not sure by whom that was given to him, who gave it to Ananda Tirtha, who's from the Madhvacharya Sampradaya. And now these deities are residing in the Raghavindra Tirtha Swami's mutt in Andhra Pradesh, Mantralayam. So we should ask Shruti to give us the pastime of this, because I'm sure she'll probably know it. So very interesting. Probably some of the oldest deities of Lord Ramachandra in existence. So who is Sita? Sita is the eternal consort of Lord Ramachandra, and we believe that she is an incarnation of Radharani, just like Ram is an incarnation of Krishna. So she is not an ordinary soul like us. She's special. She's part of the Hladini Shakti energy of the Lord. So very special energy. So whenever the Lord descends, Sita also appears with him. So just like Vishnu, Lakshmi Devi appears. For Ram, Sita appears. With Krishna, Radha appears. And with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's Gadadhar. Very interesting. So as part of her earthly pastimes with Ram, Sitadevi is the daughter of Mother Earth, goddess Bhumi Devi, and she's central figure of Ramayana. Right? She's included in all of the kandas, which is very unusual. And in Valmiki's own words, Ramayana is known as the noble story of Sita. Sita Ayag Charitam Mahat. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, I know why she is daughter of Bhumi Devi. Can I tell the faster?
Yeah, go for it.
So once Janak Maharaj was plowing in the farm, and that time the plowing tool was stopped there. Means he made a sound, and Janak Maharaj was astonished, and he did all the soil, and finally he found a box. So he went to his palace, and he opened a box, and a girl was in there.
Very good. Well done. Not many people know that. So well done, Riyansh. So the grandson of Ikshwaku, and again, we're going to come through these pastimes, was King Nimi. Nimi, he was cursed to die. Now, he was very powerful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhuji. So I would like to ask Riyansh a question. Are you there, Riyansh?
Yes,
No?
Mother.
Yes. So how did this baby girl get into that box and get there?
Good question.
I did not know that.
Okay, at the end I will tell that.
No, you can tell it now, Margie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Ravan was ruling, he was so cruel that he wanted to take taxes from the sages, but the sages had nothing to give. So he took their blood out. I think I told that in my Ramayana class. He took the blood out. He took lots of blood from all the sages, and he was filling in kind of boxes, and he was keeping. So the sages cursed him, and Ravan was a very learned person. And he realized that the curses will occur at some point, and he has to pay for the sins that he's committing. So he took the boxes of put all the blood in one kind of matka, this earthen pot. And he said, okay, if that is the curse is going to take effect soon. So he buried that matka under the earth. And that is how Sitadevi was there. And so she is considered to be the daughter of the sages and Mother Earth. That's how the little girl came out of that blood from that matka.
And she was the curse on Ravan.
Was
because
she?
of her, he died.
I did not understand what curse the sages gave.
The sages, did they give a curse to Ravan?
Oh, they said that a woman will be his downfall.
Yeah.
Yes, his downfall. That's what.
It should be the cause of his death.
Yes.
Good. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. That was really good time. And anything else, Indulekha, as we're going through this, please do speak up. No problem at all. Fantastic. Very good. So did you learn that, Riyansh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's a very good pastime. So the grandson of Ikshwaku was King Nimi. He was cursed to die. Now he was very powerful. He had an option to live again, but he chose not to. Why did he choose not to? Does anybody know why did he choose not to? It's a general answer. It's not a specific answer. Anybody want to have a guess? Why did King Nimi?
Prabhuji, I think because once they would, I do not remember.
Yeah, Naniben?
Yes, maybe he sort of didn't want to come back because who could feel that he could do the bhakti in his lifetime, in this one lifetime.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because if you get another body, you're going to have to die again anyway.
Yes.
So let's take the opportunity. And so the dynasty became known after him as Videha. There,
Another body.
not another body, right?
No,
So
it's
Videha means
Videha is without a body.
without
So
body,
Mother,
exactly.
Mother Sita is called Vaidehi, which is also because she was born in that dynasty. That's why she's called Vaidehi, without a body.
So it's a really nice name. Janakaraj was born in that dynasty in Mithila. And of course, he was childless. And we heard how, thank you to Rianj, how Sita appeared. This is plowing the field. And the devatas are all waiting to shower. Not too sure who these two characters are. But this is how there's Mother Sita and Janakaraj. Interesting picture. With the arrival of the baby, Janakaraj was plowing land to prepare it for conducting the yagya. So they decided to do a yagya because he didn't have a child. And while they were doing the plowing, he unearthed the golden cassette in which they found a beautiful girl. And Janakaraj was overjoyed. A land plowed by a yoke is called Sita. So he named the baby as Sita. Good, thank you. With the arrival of the baby, the king's good luck soared. His queens also gave birth to a daughter named Urmila. The two beautiful girls, by their noble qualities, good behavior, and intelligence, endeared themselves to one and all and grew to become ideal princesses. She had extraordinary power. Sitadevi was extraordinarily beautiful, but absorbed in worshipping the deity of the Lord, deity of Suryavams. Parshuram one time came to visit Janakaraj, and he gifted Lord Shiva's bow to Janak, asking him to look after it. He said to Janak, I have no more use for this. I have destroyed all the Kshatriyas. There's no more Kshatriyas with too much pride. So you can have this bow. Look after it nicely. I trust you. It would take 300 men to lift this bow, to move it. However, one day Sita was playing with her friends and a ball went under the bow. She easily lifted the bow and got the ball out. And when Janakaraj heard this pastime of Sita Devi, he was shocked. How can that be possible? 300 men have difficulty lifting this bow, and my daughter can lift it just like that. So at that time, he decided that the only person who can marry her is only person that's suitable for her is who can lift this bow. Otherwise, what will happen to the man who she marries? She'll break him into two. So this was the condition that he placed at the Swayamvar for Sita in due course of time. There you go. There's the ball, and she lifts it very easily. And this is the deity they worship. Is Narayan, the deity of the Suryavams. Years later, the sage Vishwamitra, accompanied by his disciples, Ram and Lakshman, arrived at Mithil. I love this picture because he's such a incredibly handsome Lord. Such wonderful features. Swayamvar was arranged. Ramachandra raised the bow with ease and strung an arrow. There were many other princes who came. I believe that Ravan was also there, tried to lift it. Anything else you want to add to that, Riyanj?
No, probably.
Okay. I think he tried to lift it, but I think Lord Shiva put his foot on Kailash, and the bow he could not lift. He tried to lift it. Oh, he got his fingers underneath, and then his fingers were stuck underneath this. He was very embarrassed. As he bent the bow, as Ramachandra bent the bow, it broke and it made a thunderous sound. Yes, Indulekha Maji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, here also there's a beautiful pastime of Mother Earth, because Janak Raj was kind of very scared on seeing all these demons present there. Even Ravana was there. So then Mother Earth was kind of complaining, and Lakshman couldn't understand because he's Sheshnag, he holds Mother Earth. And he asked Mother Earth what is her plight. Then Mother Earth replied that so many people are here. I'm scared if some of the demons, one of the demons marry my daughter, what will happen? So then Lakshman said, okay, you know, hold the bow with your potency, just gravity, hold the bow, don't let anybody touch it. So then Mother Earth asked, how would I know if when the right person come and I still hold it, what will happen? So then Lakshman said, when the right person come, I will jump and you will get the shock. And then you will know that that is time to let go of the bow. So that's how Mother Earth held the bow all the time. And then when Lord Ram stood up, because he was sitting next to Vishwamitra and Lakshman also. When Lord Ram stood up after all of them tried, nobody was successful. So Lord Ram just stood up and bowed down before his guru, and then he was walking. Then Lakshman, out of joy, he pretended to be out of joy, he jumped and he shouted also, he jumped. And when he jumped, Mother Earth remembered the word that he said and realized that the right person has come. Then she let go of the bow. And if we read properly, we will see that the Lord Ram didn't even have to touch. He just bowed down and went around and then just put his hand on, and the bow kind of, it was like kind of a magnet in his hand. The bow just went in his hand. So everybody was so surprised. How could, he was very young, he was 16 years old. How can a 16 years old, comparing to all these demons who were so aged and very powerful, they couldn't lift it. So yes, Mother Earth held this the bow.
No, thank you for sharing that. Very, oh, there you go. Very nice picture as well. Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai. Sitadevi came with a garland. There you go. Garland was ready. But Ramachandra said no, he could not marry. And Sita was surprised, as was Janak Raj.
Haribol Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Sitaram. Sitaram.
Where Mataji has read these, all these, he got information. What Ramayana? There are many Ramayans, you know, translated by many people. Just Indulekha Mataji, please tell me.
I think she heard it from a class, right? Indulekha Maji, you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I have not read any, though I have got Valmiki Ramayana romanized at home. I don't have the time. I should say I should be ashamed of myself anyway. I have never read any of the Ramayans. It's just I went to New Vrindavan in West Virginia, where there was a seminar on Ramayana. So there, Gaurnath Raj Prabhu, he gave nice classes. He talked about the 100 hidden facts of Ramayana. So yes, I heard from there.
Did he say the source? Did he give the source for these?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Actually, we were not prepared for that seminar. We went on a retreat there, and then every morning he was giving the class. So I was so happy to attend that class.
Yeah, no, well done. And you're sharing it with us, so it's very good. Yes, Sitaram, these are from a devotee. We don't know the references, but interesting. The news reached King Dashrath, and he was ecstatic. He rushed to Mithila. He was a friend of Janak anyway. And he rushed with everybody there with him in great anticipation. And Dashrath happily gave his permission. And then the marriage of Ram and Sita was celebrated in a grand manner. There you go. Oh, let's do the lifting of the bow. There you go. Garlands. This is the entourage.
Prabhuji, can you show the previous photo?
Yeah, this one.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji.
Now, at the same time, Lakshman, married Sita Devi's sister Urmila, and Bharat and Shatrughan married Sita's cousins, Mandavi and Shrutakirti. So all four of them. 4 for the price of 1. Huh? So apart from their eternal relationship, Sita Devi was happy to marry Ram. Of course, they are eternally consorts of each other. But in addition to that, she was really happy because the day before she had seen Ram and she'd already given her heart to Ram. Also, she understood the ability of Ram to protect her due to his great strength. So that was another reason why she was happy. The ability to clearly express what is in his heart. Usually a man thinks how to deal with the problem, whereas a woman may deal with the problem through discussion. So this is generally how it happens. But Ramachandra was different. He could express himself very nicely. So not just think about the problem, but he would discuss the problem as well. So that was another reason why she felt that Ram is the person. His self-control, discipline. People have fought wars to marry Sita, but Ram, although qualified, he asked for permission from his father first. This is really phenomenal etiquette, where the children observe this wonderful behavior that I can't do this. I am indebted. And I have to ask those who've brought me up, brought me into this world before doing anything. That's very unusual. Of course, in this age, it never happens. But what to do? Janakaraj, he placed the hand of Sita Devi over Ram. Usually it's the other way around. Right? You have the Ram's, so Sita's hand would be there, and then Ram's would go over Sita's. But Janakaraj did it the other way around. And that was unusual because now, of course, Ram is under the care of the divine love of Sita. So that was the reason why Janakaraj, because he knew how powerful she is. So, and also there's another reason. There was the compassionate nature of Sita. Ram, for example, she wouldn't kill any demon. He wouldn't kill any demon in front of Sita. She was very, very compassionate. When she was freed from the forest, Hanuman was ready to kill the Rakshashis. Even some of them had been very cruel to her, Sita. But she refused him. She said, no, you're not going to kill anyone. Janakaraj, he also then explained these qualities of Sita to Ram. Just like you were born in an extraordinary way through the sweet rice offering, she was born in an extraordinary way as well. So you know, she's no less than you are. Janakaraj really gave it to Ram. This is no ordinary lady here. When you follow Dharma, she will follow you. And if you deviate from the path of Dharma, she will advise you. And she does advise Ram on several occasions. When Ram was exiled and he wanted Sita to stay back, look after his parents. But she corrected him that the Dharampati and Patni cannot be separated. The effect of karma are intertwined in joy and in sorrow. This is really powerful. And he had to listen to her. Another time, Ram vowed to kill demons in the forest Dandakaranya for protection of the sages. And Sita was worried and she revealed her mind to Ram. You're wearing ascetics clothes. You're wearing the clothes of sages. And then you're going to go and kill the demons? That doesn't sound right. It's not plausible. It's not compatible. But then Ram convinced her by, he listened to her advice, and then he explained the reasons, which were that his duty is to protect the sages. That is his first and foremost duty. He also said to her that Sita will be like your shadow. With prosperity, she will follow you. With difficulties, she will lead you. And she did. She led him in the forest. She also led him to Ravan. So, great qualities of Mother Sita. After hearing this, at that time, Ram, he took the vow of Ekapatni Vrat. So this is very significant, because at one point, 16,000 sages approached him and said, you are the Supreme Personality of God. We want to have conjugal relationship with you. And Ram said, well, I've taken a vow of Ekapatni Vrat. So when I come as Krishna, I will fulfill your desires. So those 16,000 sages became 16,000 queens who married Krishna in the pastime of Lord Krishna when he came. So then they lived very happily in the palace, in royalty, in Ayodhya. But then after 12 years of happy royal life, circumstances led to the banishment of Ram to the forest for 14 years. And Sitadevi persuaded Ram that she should go too. Lakshman, of course, joined them. He wouldn't sleep for 14 years. Such was his loyalty to Ram. And this is something which is really extraordinary. He would only recognize Sita by seeing her feet. Yes, Rianj.
He asked the sleeping gods that don't put me into sleep because I want to always guard Lord Rama and Sita. So the sleeping gods asked then to whom we had to give the sleep. Then Lakshman said, you can give it to my wife Urmila. That's why we see Urmila sleeping.
Very good. Well done. You got good knowledge, young man.
That's why Lakshman do not sleep while Ram and Sita sleep.
Yeah, amazing. And Urmila was an amazing personality. She could have said, I want to come with you to Lakshman. But she knew that Lakshman, he would be diverted from his service to Ram. So she desisted. She didn't go with Lakshman. Such a sacrifice she made. Huge. And this is really interesting. One time, well, when Sita was kidnapped, she dropped the jewelry on the ground so that Ram and Lakshman would find. So Ram found some earrings, and he would ask Lakshman, hey, Lakshman, this is Sita's earring. Do you recognize? And Lakshman said, no, I don't recognize. What do you mean you don't recognize? She used to wear these. I don't know. I never looked at her. I never looked at her face. I only recognized by seeing her feet. And then they found some anklets. And Lakshman said, yes, this is Sita's. Extraordinary. When we go to schools, we often tell this pastime. And the children are absolutely amazed at the behavior of Lakshman. So this is the exile to the forest. They were very happy. Sita was very happy, even though Ram tried to persuade her not to come. So Bharat came with the residents of Ayodhya to persuade Ram to come back to the kingdom, but Ram would not break the promise of his father. Eventually, the three of them moved to Panchavati, where Shurpankh's nose was cut off by Lakshman, and Ram single-handedly destroyed 14,000 army personnel of Kara. Yes, Yans.
Prabhuji, I heard Dantakaranya Shurpanakha. I did not heard Panchavati.
I can't remember now.
It's Panchavati.
Panchavati, they did not face any difficulty. In Dantakaranya, they faced all difficulties.
Was it? I thought it was in Panchavati that they that
I
he
thought
was kidnapped.
Dantakaranya.
Anybody know? Not sure.
I too thought he is Panchavati.
I heard somewhere. that
You can check it, young man. You can check it, okay?
I don't
now,
have Ramayana.
Later. Now, why did Ram kill single-handedly the 14,000? He could have left it to Lakshman. But actually what happened one time, Sita sort of mildly insulted Ram by saying, what's the use of your bow? At that time, Ram didn't say anything. Why did she say that to him? Because he never used to use the bow. He was very considerate. So this opportunity came, and Ram always had it in his mind that one day I will show my prowess to Sita. So when this army of Kara came, just one second, let me finish. When Kara's army came, he said to Lakshman, you go in the cave to protect Sita. Lakshman didn't like that. Why? I want to fight. No, you go. You protect Sita. And Ram at that point destroyed the army. And then at that time, Sita later came to Ram and said, I insulted you that time, and now you've proven me wrong. So she didn't quite say it like that, but he understood it like that. She apologized to him. Very interesting. Yes, Riyansh.
Prabhuji, their names were Kaladushan.
Sorry?
Their names were Karadushan.
Okay. So this is them walking. I think they were walking to Panchavati. And this is the cutting the nose off. Okay. Divine Mother, the roles that she's played in the Ramayana. Divine Mother, the concept of love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. Mother to who? Of course, her children, but also to Hanuman. She was such an amazing, loving personality. She was the Dharmpatni with the concept of companionship, support, service, advice. She was everything for Ram. She was attracted to temptation as lessons to us. What sort of temptations? Yeah, what sort of temptations?
Golden deer.
The golden deer, that's right. The deer was called Abhiram. When attracted to something other than Ram, then Ram walks away. So this is a good example for us. If we have attractions for other than Krishna or Ram, they walk away. We have to be careful. So this is the golden deer. Sita becomes attracted. And she asks Ram to have the deer as a pet. Seeing Lakshman as non-saintly. So this happened. This was a really extraordinary pastime. When Ram went after the deer, and the deer Maricha was shouting out, Lakshman, Sita, help me. So she was telling Lakshman, go and help Ram. But Ram has instructed me to stay and protect you. Ram is supreme. Ram is, nobody can defeat Ram. But she took it the wrong way. And she said to Lakshman, you are after me, and that is why you're not going to protect Ram. Now, Lakshman, he could have got very angry at that comment because, as we know, he was very loyal to Ram. He didn't even know what Sita looked like. But he didn't. He controlled himself. He realized that Sita was just angry because she was afraid for Ram. So Lakshman controlled himself. He said, I'm not going to destroy my relationship with my Bhabhi because I know she's in emotional condition at the moment. But this was something which Sita insulted Lakshman quite heavily. And another cause of temptation, I suppose, was when Ravan entered as disguised as a sage and wanted to have some food from Sita. And she disobeyed the order of Lakshman, and she walked out of the Lakshman Rekha in order to satisfy the sage. And he took Sita to Lanka, which represents the material world. Where she was surrounded by one-eyed and one-eared demons, representing the I and my attitude of the materialist in this world. So this is all examples of Sita. Yeah. Yes, Riansh.
Raja, I heard one-eyed, one-ear demons, like 300, 700, like that demons surrounded Sita.
Yeah, many. They would cause her fear because Ravan wanted her to live in the palace, but he couldn't force her. So he would try to scare her with all these demons. But
Prabhuji?
she was fearless. Yes.
But one demon always protected Sita.
Yeah, that's right. The lady
Trijata.
demon. What was her name?
Trijata.
Oh, very good. Well done.
I
Yes,
read
Mulekamaji.
I
Sorry?
read-